Will you get drenched this fireworks night? Is there really an 150-mile long wall of snow coming towards us? And what's the outlook looking like for the rest of winter?
All that coming up. Welcome to our latest podcast with Square Raindrop. I'm Jo Wheeler.
And I'm Steph Goulter.
And well, that's a bit of a starter, Steffi, given the fact the weather is so boring at the moment. We're all falling over with tedium.
Oh, it's a right snore fest. I think I might go and make another cup of tea. At this time of year, if there's a high pressure, we're normally chasing cloud. But this time, there's so many clouds around, there's nothing not to chase.
I'm looking at it day by day and going, please make it stop. And not only that, but we're not even seeing any extremes in temperature. Overnight values are only 2 or 3 degrees below what they are during the daytime. You know, I keep hearing promising things about a few gaps out on the East Coast. Hasn't happened.
No, there were supposed to be some this weekend in the southeast, but they didn't happen. Maybe northeast over the next few days. That's what they're saying. But, you know, I wouldn't put my life savings on it.
Has to be said, Scotland actually fared quite well over the weekend, I believe. They saw some sunshine. But for the rest of us, no, it just goes on and on. And I know that you don't like the long-term forecast, but certainly the long-term trends are for this high pressure to hang around over northwestern parts of Europe. Might see a few bits and pieces of rain, maybe the wind's picking up a little bit, very exciting. But then the high pressure comes back. And with that, it all settles down again.
Well, where is the rubbish weather going then, Jo? I mean, we're used to being rained on the entire time. Where's that going?
Well, with the high pressure where it is, it's either going north or it's going south.
Wow, that's profound. Whereabouts might that be?
I'm not too worried about the north because they're kind of used to it. It's down in the south that we have these issues. Obviously, we had this Dana over Iberia, which brought that massive amount of flooding. But over the next few weeks, couple of weeks, call it, the high pressure isn't just over northwestern parts of Europe, but over Central Europe as well. So that's something else to force the weather southwards. So there's a little system which is playing in the Mediterranean, Sardinia, Corsica, parts of Italy, down towards Greece. And then the system comes back again. So no signs at the moment it's going to deliver huge amounts of rainfall, but that it will just plague those areas, which usually, even at this time of year, can expect fairly good conditions.
They can do, but I think we're going to have to go further afield this time if we want to guarantee ourselves a bit of sunshine, at least for fireworks closer to home. Fireworks night, either Tuesday night or the weekend, when many people will be celebrating. At least then, it looks like we won't be rained on too heavily.
There's a plus point. You won't freeze either.
Exactly. There's always a silver lining.
Of sorts. No, the fact that bonfire night falls on Tuesday means that we had fireworks at the weekend, potential fireworks on Tuesday, and potential fireworks at the weekend as well. Now, I'm sorry, I'm a dog owner, a very large dog owner, and they really don't appreciate it. Last year, because I knew that my dog was upset by fireworks, you know, I'd settled down, I was going to spend the night with her on the sofa, but she insisted on going outside. So I had to find the YouTube channel that's got the nice animal tunes on it, turned it up to volume 60 so she could hear it from the patio. And with that, she fell asleep and snored all night. I fell asleep because the music was very soothing. And actually, it was piano music that I could have played myself.
Jo?
Yeah.
Is there really a YouTube channel for animal music?
Several.
That's amazing. They have everything on YouTube these days, even Square Raindrop.
They do indeed. But yeah, honestly, if you've got a nervous dog, yeah, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but look for dog calming music or something like that. And the channel comes straight up. The only downside is they put pictures of dogs up, which my dog can see. And she's like, why is this dog in my house? Not that keen.
Yes, I can imagine that would be quite disturbing. My cats, on the other hand, they don't care. You can do any kind of noise with them and they just shrug and wander off. Not fussed at all. Maybe they're deaf. Who knows? Anyway, also, we have been looking at the forecast in the future, as have some newspapers. And some newspapers are saying that there's a 150-mile length wall of snow coming towards us, and others are saying that it will be snowing here on Wednesday. What do you have to say to that? Yes. What do you have to say to that, Jo?
Sorry, I was just looking at the charts this morning, and it looks to me like temperatures are on the rise this week. We're going to see some very mild conditions for the time of year. Was I not looking in the right place? Have I missed the snow?
See, the disappointment for me is that we know Birmingham Live love a bit of this rubbish, as do the Express. They can't get enough of making up the weather. But Joe, this was in the Independent. I always thought they
Oh
were
no.
quite good, like a reputable newspaper.
Why would they print something like that?
I'm so depressed, disappointed. They have disillusioned me.
Yeah, we'll just wait for that 150-mile line of snow coming south on Wednesday, and then you can talk about it.
Well, that will be a surprise for all except for the Independent, I think, Joe.
And that brings us back to that usual problem that we have. I mean, certainly right at the moment, I mean, it's grey, grey, grey. I don't think when you look at the app on your phone, it's that hard to get it right. All I've got is cloud from here on until at least the weekend. But if we were expecting that 150-mile line of snow, what sign would the app have?
Well, people are saying a lot online at the moment that their apps are giving all sorts of random symbols. I don't seem to be tallying up with what's out the window and things like that. So I thought I'd just give a brief roundup of apps and their icons. So a lot of people, my husband included, like to use the weather app that's just on the iPhone. That one is the GFS model, which is the American model. It's not the model that's used generally in your weather forecasts on the TV that you see and the wonderful ones that we use on Square Raindrop. So there might be a little bit of difference there. Also, there's a difference between the way they look at the icon for the Met Office and for the BBC. So the BBC, Joe, I don't know if you knew this, but they take the worst weather for the day, and that's their symbol for the day. So if you get 1 hour of terrifically heavy rain at maybe 5:30 in the afternoon, but the rest of the day is gloriously sunny, the icon they will use is heavy rain. Whereas the Met Office look at the weather for the whole 24-hour period of the day, and they use the most common one. Now, the problem there is if the most common one happens at night, because most people won't have seen it. So if it could rain from, say, at 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, solid rain, you'd probably count that as quite a wet day, Joe. But no, the Met Office would say, well, the rest of the day was clear. So we're going with the clear symbol. Funny, isn't it?
I think one thing is very clear here, and that's the fact that one symbol doesn't do the day's weather justice.
That's right, especially if it's showers, and the showers are kind of, they're like popcorn showers. They might pop up there, they might pop up there, they might not pop up here, but you might have a shower symbol on your app. But because it might not happen, you might not have it there. So it just doesn't quite work. One symbol fits nothing.
Well, so the short range, long range weather, as in like the next couple
my
of
head,
weeks.
Joe, what are you saying?
The short range, long range. So in the kind of immediate future, plus a little bit, is looking influenced by high pressure. But I know that the Met Office have published that oh so confusing little thing they do about the winter weather.
Yes, so they go ahead for the next 3 months. So they're actually doing November, December, January at the moment, whereas obviously winter would include February and not November. Anyway, you get the idea. The next 3 months is what they're forecasting for. And the way they do it is a normal sort of curve. And in the middle, the average is kind of what you usually get. That's why it's called the average. And that would have a 60% chance of it happening. Whereas you then have 20% down here of it being lower than usual, 20% up here of it being higher than usual, 20, 20, 60, that's 100%. So that's what you look for. If there's any change, that's when you start going, aha, something's going a bit squiffy. So for the next 3 months, they believe the temperatures, the probability of average temperatures is 65. Is that higher or lower than 60, Joe?
It's higher.
There you go. So there's a higher chance of an average temperature, according to the Met Office, whereas the upper level is 30%, which is higher or lower than 20, Joe?
Higher.
Yes. So we're expecting it to be about average, probably a bit higher than average, temperature-wise. Precipitation, they've got 20% of it being low, 60% in the middle, 20 in the outside. So what's that? Is that average? Yes, it is. Then the wind, they're again going for only 15 of it being not quite so strong as usual, which is lower than the 20. Then they've got 65 in the middle and 20. So they're expecting it really to be about average. So there you go, your quick little recap. They're expecting average winds, a little bit higher than usual temperatures, and rain about what you'd expect for this time of year. Was that worth it?
Yeah. When I looked at the Christmas forecast,
Christmas?
I did. Somebody was doing it, and I thought that's quite interesting. But it's a long way off yet, Steffi, and no, you don't look that far ahead.
No, we don't go that far ahead because it won't be right.
No, it won't. But it is fun to look. I do like that sort of thing. You know I do. I love the crystal ball gazing.
You
Okay,
do.
so having dealt with all the averages, this, that, and the next way, I mean, like I say, because it looks so very quiet for November, sticking with averages is probably a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
Can't go
I
wrong.
mean, other than if you're looking for the amount of sunshine, I'd definitely go below average for that, Joe.
You know, by the time we finish this year, I think hours of sunlight are going to be so drastically down.
I hope you're taking your vitamin D, Joe. That's all I can say. And what we're going to have to do is find a whole load more words for cloud. We need a whole new
Eskimos
vocabulary.
have several hundred words for snow.
They do. We need the same, but for cloud. I always thought it would be rain that I was asking this for, but at the moment, no. Just cloud. Grey, cloud, dull, drab, dank, cloud. Too many clouds.
Well, before the next podcast, we need to consult with the thesaurus. Or if any of you can come up with any great ideas for other words for cloud, grey, dull, damp, any of those things, do please comment. We'd love to hear from you. Obviously, like and subscribe as well, and share it with your friends. We need to share this greyness, this drabness, this miserable weather. At least we can bring a smile to you, hopefully.